Hey, this is Ben, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about your energy bodies, otherwise known as your subtle bodies. Now, this is going to be a bit of an introduction to your energy body so you can understand what you're really made of, and so that you can begin to access some of your true power. Because here's the thing, here in the West, in Western tradition, we have this very rigid view of what makes up a human being. We've got this belief that we're basically our physical body, our brain, our physical heart, all of this stuff we can measure, feel, taste, touch, see. But if you look at many of the other world's traditions, in fact, over 97 different traditions throughout history of different human cultures, you'll in fact see that we are a whole lot more than just the physical body. A lot of us believe in a spirit or a soul, but even that, there's a whole lot more to us than that. So I'm going to be covering some of those, what those traditions say here in this video, because I've been becoming very, very interested in that stuff. Because the more you know about who you really are, the more you can access your true power. The more you can stop coming from effect and getting blown around by the external world around you, the more you can start coming from cause and creating the reality you choose. So this is really going to help you with that. So without further ado, let's go through a system which outlines these different bodies. Now, first of all, we've got the physical body, as you know, and as Nikola Tesla says, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy and vibration. So, the physical body is made of energy. We know that. And the only reason that we're able to perceive the physical body in the way that we can is because our senses, our eyes, our sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, are attuned, kind of like a tuning fork, to the frequency of vibration that the physical body is on. Our senses are tuned and trained to see and perceive this level of vibration. That's why we're able to clearly perceive the physical body. But the physical body isn't where it starts. The physical body isn't what is creating your experience. It's in fact the manifestation of higher vibrations which are just expressed through the physical body. So that's layer number one. Behind the physical body is what's known as the etheric body, right? And if you're into pranic healing or Reiki or traditional Chinese medicine and you understand Qi, this is where all of that energy moves through, the etheric body. And you can basically think of your etheric body as like a projector, which is projecting the holographic projection of your physical body. The etheric body is the projector behind it. Okay, that's got the template for everything in your body. All of your organs, all of your bodily systems, they all exist on the etheric body level. It's like this energy source which projects what we see as the physical body. Now, your etheric body and all of these bodies are kind of like overlapping each other. They're all overlaid and they extend out around you, and people who can see auras are actually perceiving these bodies, right? So that's what that's all about. Now, beyond the etheric body, we've got what is known as the emotional body. Now, have you ever wondered where emotions come from? Well, yes, there's neurotransmitters and hormones and all these different biochemical reactions happening in your body, but that is not the origin or the source of the emotions. And Western science has got this horribly backward thinking that we need to medicate everyone who has a chemical imbalance in their brain with prescription drugs. Well, no, that's actually just dealing with the effect, not dealing with the cause. In fact, the effect is happening much deeper on the emotional body level, right? So that's the next layer out. Your emotional body is the storage place for all of your feelings and emotions. That's where they're all occurring. And in fact, people who can see auras will describe your aura in different ways when you're very emotional. Like they might say something like you're actually glowing red when you're very angry, or perhaps you've got like a green tinge when you're jealous or bitter. That's where some of these sayings come from, because there is actually a perceivable change in the aura of someone's emotional body when these emotional shifts are happening. So that is the next level. So your emotions affect your etheric template, causing energy blockages when you're having negative emotions, which then manifest that in your physical body. It's kind of like this flow down effect, but it's coming from a higher level, right? So next we've got the mental body. Now the mental body is what is creating the emotions, because what you think about is what creates your state of feeling. So if you're thinking negative thoughts all day because you have some whack beliefs, then of course your emotions are going to be horrible. It's going to trickle down into your etheric body, which is going to manifest in your physical body as disease or sickness. So the mental body is the next body out, and this is associated with your solar plexus chakra, right? This is where all your thoughts happen. And this is where your soul, if you want to think of it like this is where your soul is expressing itself into your personality at the level of the mental body. So this is where you get your unique personality from in this lifetime. Your soul is creating that at the mental level. That's the next body out. Beyond the mental body, we've got what is known as the astral body. Now, everything up until now, up until the mental body, is in fact on the physical plane. Everything is up to now on the physical plane. So the etheric, emotional, and mental body exist on the physical plane, and they are therefore measurable to some extent, which means they emit an electromagnetic field around your body, which actually can be measured using our current scientific instruments that can pick up on this stuff. When you're in a certain mental state, that changes the frequency you're emitting, and that can be measured. The electromagnetic field around the heart actually can be measured. And if you want to check out some of the research on that stuff, check out the Heart Math Institute. Heart Math Institute. There's a lot of really cool stuff over there. So next up, we've got the astral body, which exists on the next plane. So if you think of bodies, but we've also got planes. The astral body exists on the astral plane, and this is the body that you use when you're doing astral projection, which you may have heard of. This is where a lot of us go at night when we're sleeping and dreaming, and we go to these faraway lands, we're journeying, we're able to do things we can't usually do, like fly, walk through walls, all kinds of wacky stuff. You're doing that through your astral body, and you're actually, according to a lot of belief systems, a lot of different human cultures, you're actually traveling in a real dimension. When you're dreaming in your astral body, you're going to this new place and you're using an actual body which exists inside you. And yes, you can train yourself to travel outside of the body using your astral body. This is what a lot of people experience when they have near-death experiences, when they're just about to die. They leave the body, come back into the body, all kinds of wacky stuff like this. The astral body is the first place where you transcend the limits of space and time, meaning you can step outside of time when you're living in your astral body, when you're tuned into that, all right? Next up, we have what is known as the Etheric Template. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail with this stuff. This is just kind of like an introduction, sharing some of the cool stuff I've been learning about lately. But the Etheric Template is like the template for all of the bodies that I've mentioned so far. It's kind of like the blueprint, the master plan, the drawing, the projector for all of these other bodies which I've described. And the Etheric Template is the first body which exists on the spiritual plane. So we've got physical, astral, and spiritual, which most people aren't tapping into or accessing because of their beliefs that they are this separate ego, the world is purely physical and there's nothing beyond that. So this is very rarely accessed by people in general. But on the Etheric Template, you've got access to your soul code, all right? So everything about your current life, everything about your personality, your soul. Once you transcend the astral plane, you're actually able to step into your true identity. Because think about it like this. When you know what your true identity is, which is in fact limitless, you're then able to change your beliefs. And your beliefs, remember these different levels, your beliefs filter down into your mental body. Your mental body determines what you're actually able to think about, because you're not going to think about stuff that isn't possible for you. So this is really key here. When your beliefs trickle down into your mental body, which changes the way you think, that trickles down into your emotional body, which changes the way you feel, trickles down into your etheric body, which changes the template for your physical body, and results in either dis-ease, or health, wellness, vitality, and all of that. So that's all happening from the level of the Etheric Template. Next up, there's two left that I'm going to talk about right now. Next up, you've got the celestial body. Now, if you have ever had like a transcendent experience, you know, some would say an experience with God, or like a deep mystical experience in nature, or you've experienced that real spiritual ecstasy. I'm not talking about taking MDMA here, I'm talking about like spiritual ecstasy or bliss, or any of these states where you just like have this amazing enlightenment moment. That's happening from your celestial body. You're experiencing that in the celestial body. So the celestial body gives you access to all those feelings of transcendence, those highest emotions, highest states of being. That's where it's being experienced in the celestial body. Remember, all of these are overlaid on top of each other, and you can train yourself to perceive these different bodies. Next up, and the last one which I'm going to talk about here, is the causal body. The causal body. Now, the Tibetans call this the rainbow body due to its brilliant rainbow colors that it emits. You know, when someone gets into their rainbow body, they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm not even going to go into cities here. I'm going to do a future episode just on cities. But they're basically like the powers which we all have access to, supernatural powers, which we all have access to, which there is a tradition in yoga of going through the process of becoming, of transcending the physical realm, going deeper and deeper into yoga, going into these deeper states and actually unlocking some of these powers, such as, you know, telepathy, levitation, teleportation. All this crazy stuff is happening once we're accessing our causal body. We're unlocking these cities, unlocking these higher abilities which we all possess. That's coming from the causal level of being. So the causal level is where you have direct access to source, direct access to, you know, universal consciousness, direct access to your true self, which is everything, which is the oneness. That is all happening on the causal level. So that is a brief explanation of your subtle bodies. So if anyone ever talks about subtle bodies, that's a bit of an overview of what they are, the energetic bodies which we all have access to, which you can begin to access if this is something you're interested in, through stepping up your spiritual practice, your spiritual disciplines, you know, your spiritual journey, beginning to treat that as a high priority instead of a low priority, which comes after all of the stuff around you in the physical world that you want to change at an ego level. Once you begin to tap into these deeper layers of self and you begin to change the way you're living, you know, living more consciously, cleaning up your diet, practicing meditation more, or maybe yoga, practicing more compassion, love, you're going to begin to raise your vibration and you're going to begin to access more of these bodies that you have, which is going to unlock a whole range of possibilities that you never believed were possible. Thank you for watching. I'll be doing future videos on some of these topics. That's just like a bit of an introduction based on some of the stuff I've been learning about lately. Hope you enjoyed that. Please share this video with a friend, comment below what you got from that. Look forward to seeing you in a future video.